how to behave and where to sit and what to do and all of that. And some of us, we just like that in our own homes. I'm the man up in here. Don't be telling me what to do. Boy, look at you. You was nothing until I met you. I make you this way. Don't tell me I gotta wash dishes. You hire someone to wash some dishes around here. You know, we don't like rules. We don't like people telling us what to do. So imagine in the Bible where we have these 10 laws. Well, it's natural human nature to try to push the envelope, to try to get outside of the lines. It's natural human nature to try to go beyond what they say to do. For example, the seatbelt law. You know, it took so long for the Bahamian government to put the seatbelt law in place because every time it came up in Parliament, people would always protest against it. You know, I don't have to put on no seatbelt. That'll mash up my clothes. That'll dirty up my shoulder. That'll slow me down. Why do I need to have seatbelt? My car ain't got no seatbelt anyway. You know, and it's no matter how much they try to present statistics of the lives that seatbelts save, you know, when you put them on and you get in a car accident, you know, no matter how much you try to present that, the seatbelt law is to help you. Is to try to save your life and the life of your passenger. We don't want to do it. And in fact, we only do it, most of us now, because we don't want to get pulled over. When we go over the mainland, I know it, in Harbour Island, we drive golf carts, and our golf cart don't have a seatbelt, and so that makes us feel all good and stuff. But then when we get over on Eleuthera, we buckling up because we don't want to get pulled over. Or when we get in Nassau, we buckling up because we don't want to get a fine. Or when we get in the States, the same people who carry on about the seatbelt law in the Bahamas, as soon as you hit in Miami and you sit in your rental car, you don't want to follow the law in the Bahamas, but when you get in other people's town, you want to go start following their law. So somehow we just don't like rules. So friends, the question for you is, what do you do when God put you to the test? How will you respond when God gave you the structure to follow? Now the thing about a teacher really doesn't expect you to get 100%. Or a teacher knows that you will not get 100% likely the first go around. But you have to at least show an effort. You have to at least try. You have to show up to the exam with your pen and pencil, at least write your name on the paper, you know, fill in the line or something. You got to at least be trying to do it. You are, and it's through the trying as an act of faith that we all have a test in front of us. And if God has to mark us down for how we are performing in those things, I wonder what God will say when it comes to the test of vanity, being full of ourselves. It's all about us. I have a strong feeling for most of us, especially me. You'll get an X. And then when the test comes for lust, and how we looking at other people, and God give us meat, and we still want more meat. You know what I'm talking about, right? All right, we want a chicken thigh, we want a chicken wing, and we want a whole bird. We want all, anyway. And then when it comes to greed and our desire to have more and more and more, I gotta have it. I don't care what I have to do to get it. I wonder how we will respond. And jealousy and people around us, and when they get it and we're not getting it, I wonder how we respond to that, you know, test. When it comes to our parents, our teachers, our community leaders, and showing respect for those in authority, I wonder how we will respond. Now I set up a second test, a test that tests our faith, our trust, our patience, our humility, and our honor. And this is a test that many struggle with. And I want you to know why. This is the problem with gambling. Because gambling is against faith in God. We're expecting certain numbers to fall, and that's what our faith is in. That if I put down $5, I play it straight and I box it, then I'll get my hookup. Friends, that is against the test of faith in God to provide. Then how much you trust God to fix your situation? Do you trust God or do you trust flowers, eh? What about our patience? To wait for God to bring the change in our lives. For God to deliver us and for God to open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing. For God to provide our needs. For God to make our cup overflow. Are we patient enough to wait for God to do it? Or we got to wait for the morning draw? The afternoon anyway, never mind. What about the humility part of it? To say, you know what, I may not have it, but nonetheless, I am still grateful. I may not be able to get the clothes and get the hairdo and buy the shoes and take the big trips, but I am still thankful. It's a test of your humility. And then ultimately, it comes to do you honor God with your life. That's the test right there. Do you honor God in everything that you do? Because you know what? If you're showing up there every day and you're paying your tithes to Craig, and you're paying your tithes to Woodfall, and you're putting in your offering up the road, and you're giving them your deposit, you are saying, I am honoring you. I am giving you. I am sowing into you. And so we are saying we are not honoring God. I'm talking about tests. What do you do when God put you to... You know what? I get in trouble. Brother Vicente, go inside my office and along the wall, you can see my helmet. I think I need that. I start to burn it on the ground. Grab this for me quick. I need that. Yeah, I think I need that. Yes. I start to mash some corn. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I get, I know there's certain things that you're not supposed to. Come on, Brother Vicente, just come and hide, man. You know, I'm worrying about how are we going to deal with tomorrow, and people getting all upset. Miss Linda, give me that sword. I said, I'm letting you know, friends, that's the problem. When God put the structure in place for us to follow, we have to be willing to follow it. Even if no one follows with you, that you got to say, God, I am contented. God, I trust you. God, I have faith in you. God, I believe in you. Man can't do it. No one can do it but your Holy Spirit, God. I need you. I don't know how God got me here. None of this is in my sermon. But I just want you to know, I am a full believer that God can open doors. Look at the wonderful people God has blessed me with. Just look at you. And this is a wonderful opportunity. God knows that we're not perfect. God knows that we struggle. So when God brings the test to us. You know, when you fail a test at school, most of the time a teacher says to you to go back and do your corrections and come back to me. To try again. And the teacher expects you to go back and put in the work, research the answer. Still you may not get 100%, but you may say, well, you know what, okay, you got that right now. You're still dealing with this one, so that gotta stay. You're still dealing with lust, but you're dealing with the greed, and so you got that one. You know, you head in the right direction. You know, you're not struggling to see him anymore. Day by day, morning by morning, new mercies you are seeing that God is bringing you through. That the Holy Spirit is working in your life and bringing about changes. And you still got to deal with that jealousy problem, but now you're dealing with your respect and all of that. That's what the test of God is. God expects us not to be perfect, but to be faithful. God expects for us to want to have more. I believe in you. I believe in you. That the God who is in is greater than anything around you. I believe that you can do it. I know that you can do it. I know that it's possible because we worship a God of the possible. A God who turns the impossible into possible. A God who makes brand new all things that are old. A God who fixes everything who's broken. I know that you can make it through. Yes,